Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for June 17th, 2013. I thought this was a damn good Raw. A lot of surprises on this show. Starts off with Del Rio coming out and he says, people think the way he beat Dolph was controversial, but when Dolph cashed in his Money in the Bank, Del Rio was injured and everyone cheered. And he says America is all about pigs and cowards, and he's done fighting for the people. He says he will give them a second chance to show him some respect, and then Punk and Heyman come out, which was awesome. And Punk says he heard Del Rio say he's the best in the world, so he wants to challenge him. Heyman doesn't want him to. He says he's still banged up, but Punk's like, Paul, I got this. And Del Rio says, I don't think you really want to do this. And then Vicky and Maddox come out, and Vicky says it's not up to Del Rio, so she makes Punk versus Del Rio the main event. Backstage, Heyman tells Punk that he just cares about him, and Punk says he doesn't need his help to win matches like Brock and Axel, and he tells him he doesn't want him at ringside anymore. So Wade Barrett's in the ring waiting for his rematch with Curtis Axel, and Vicky comes out and says he has to face her big surprise first. Christian returns. So Christian wrestles Wade Barrett. He wins with the kill switch. I'm happy to see Christian back. I just find him way more entertaining as a heel, so I hope that's where they go with him in the future. He's just so much better at being a heel. Sheamus versus Cody and Damien Sandow in a handicap match. Sheamus gets Cody, ties Cody in the ropes, and he's about to beat on his chest, and like Cody's dad would say, we're about to go a clubbering. How many times do we have to hear this friggin' line? I mean, come on, man. Every week. Usually on Raw and SmackDown we have to hear that line. We're about to go a clubbering. So, Sheamus hits white noise on Cody, and he's going for the Brogue Kick, but Damien Sandow runs in and rolls Sheamus up for the win. Sandow leaves, and Sheamus Brogue Kicks Cody. So that was it. Thank God he didn't win. I really thought he was going to, and that would have just completely buried these two guys. I mean, he pretty much kicked their asses by himself, but still, at least he didn't win the match. Vicky and Maddox are all excited about the matches they've made, and Triple H comes up and just shits all over him. He tells her that she needs to make an example of the Shield tonight, and then says, by the way, great job putting 3MB on the show tonight. Like that. Isn't that ironic? Because they're really the ones booking the shows, and if they think it sucks, it's like, well, what the hell are you doing it for? I thought it was a weird-ass thing to say. Kane wants to give Team Hell No another shot. And Daniel Bryan says he will never be able to prove himself if he's put on a team. And he wants to go for the WWE title, and Kane says, well, I also want to go for the WWE title. So Orton says that it's Daniel Bryan's fault they lost at Payback, and he is the weak link. So we get Orton versus Daniel Bryan in a no DQ match. Fans could vote for the match. It was no DQ, no countout, or 2 out of 3 falls. I was actually hoping for 2 out of 3 falls myself, but it's no DQ. And they show this tweet from Sheamus. In trouble? Don't choke on your chops. Call 1-800-FELLA for some proper help. Now, I wrote this down because at first I just thought it was a weird, random tweet, but there's actually more on this later. So Orton brings out a kendo stick. You know that was coming. He tosses Daniel Bryan over, and then he says something to the ref that they censored. I don't know what it was. The only thing I can think of is time, like how much time do we got? But they censored it. And the doctor checks on Daniel Bryan. He says he can't compete, but Daniel Bryan runs back into the ring. He wants to keep fighting. Orton backdrops him on the barricade. The doctor tells the ref to just stop the match. Afterwards, Orton helps Daniel Bryan up. And I was hoping he was going to RKO Daniel Bryan here and finally turn heel, but he doesn't. He just helps him up. So that was it. And then AJ Lee comes out. Oh my God, this segment was terrible. I mean, this was horrible stuff here. And I know Kaitlyn's tit popped out, but this was just really tough to watch and lasted forever. So AJ says, if there's any woman in the back who wants to face me, come out or something. Stephanie McMahon comes out. She threatens to fire AJ if she doesn't start acting like a real champion. Kaitlyn comes out. Stephanie walks up the ramp and she's pissed that Kaitlyn interrupted her, but says, you know, you've been through a lot this week, so I'm going to let it slide. One thing I learned from this segment is I do not ever need to see Stephanie McMahon on my television again. Ever. But Kaitlyn attacks AJ. Big E carries AJ to the back. Thank God it was over. Ambrose versus Kane. Kane goes for the choke slam and Rollins and Reigns hit the ring. Ambrose gets disqualified and Reigns spears Kane and they powerbomb him. Backstage, Vicky is pissed off at the Shield, but they don't take her seriously. They don't think she can really do anything to him. And Vince McMahon comes up and he shakes all their hands and says, I really like these guys. And they walk away, and then Vince tells Vicky that he never cared for that Halloween mask-wearing freak Kane anyway. Zeb Coulter comes out and says, we're at war, and when you're at war, sometimes you form strange alliances. And this man here wasn't born in America, but he's got honor and integrity. And he brings out Antonio Cesaro. Cesaro says the "We the People" line, and he goes to the ring to have a match with William Regal. This is doomed. I don't know where Swagger is. I don't think they've even explained why he hasn't been on the shows. But this is doomed here. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to drop this soon. But it's not going to help either guy. I mean, no one's going to care about this, and it's treated like a joke already by JBL and Michael Cole. The only entertaining thing about this segment was JBL and Cole going back and forth about Zeb Coulter. But Cesaro faces Regal. He's lost all of his heat. He wins with a neutralizer. No one cares. Afterwards, Cesaro lays a "Don't Tread on Me" flag across William Regal. And they've just completely fucked Cesaro up. And it sucks to see it because he's one of my favorite guys in WWE. I'd say top 5, maybe even top 3. And they've just completely wasted him. They were doing some great stuff when he was the U.S. champion. He was getting some heat. And now he's just, what is this? This is terrible. This thing is completely doomed. This is going nowhere. Cena comes out and says he can take care of any challenge in front of him. He says there won't be an opportune time to cash in the Money in the Bank on him. And he says he knows he won't hold the title forever, but the next person to hold it will be someone who has earned it. And Mark Henry comes out, and they've been talking about how he's said a few things on Twitter about how he may retire tonight. And he comes out in a suit, and he leaves his wrestling boots on the ramp, and he gets in the ring, and he puts over Cena and says he's here to retire, basically. He's crying and everything, and he tells his family he's coming home, and Cena gets in the ring with him and holds up the title with Mark Henry. And then Mark Henry hits the world's strongest slam on Cena and dusts off his jacket and walks up the ramp. This was awesome. I did not see this coming at all. At first I thought they may do something like this because Mark Henry said the line, "I've had a lot of success but not as much as John." And I was like, okay, maybe he's going to do something here. And then the fans chant one more match, and I was thinking maybe he's going to do one more match and say, hey, Cena, just give me a shot at the title, and they'd be done with it. But the way he was crying and everything and then bringing up his family, I really did think he was retiring tonight. So when he had that slam, I was like, damn, that was badass. I stood up for that. But backstage, Henry says he fooled everyone, and the WWE title is the only one he hasn't held. So he's going to make a challenge to Cena right now. And the reason he has 2 boots is because he's going to leave one of them in Cena's rear end. Heath Slater versus Jericho. Jericho wins with the code breaker. Afterwards, he hits a code breaker on Jinder and McIntyre. Backstage, Stryker asks Heyman about Punk, but he only wants to talk about Axel. They show a video of Sheamus bro kicking a guy who's choking in a restaurant because his girlfriend called 1-800-FELLA. I don't know what the hell this is, what the purpose is, if it's supposed to be funny. I don't know, but it's this whole 1-800-FELLA thing. I assume they're going to do some more skits like this, but yeah, I don't get it. That's not even enough numbers to make a call. Curtis Axel versus Sin Cara. Miz is on commentary. Axel wins with a DDT. Vince tells Vicky that she's doing a great job. Stephanie comes up complaining and says that the show's out of control. Triple H comes up and says he told her to take care of the Shield and she didn't. She needs to start listening to him. And Vince says, no, you need to listen to me. And Stephanie says, oh, you need to listen to me. That was it. And before the camera cuts away, you can hear Vince say something. It sounded like he said, that's a freak workout. But I'm not sure what he said, but it was just funny because he said it before the camera actually cut. Heyman tells Punk he gets it, he understands his decision, and wishes him luck. It's Del Rio versus Punk. Punk hits the GTS, but Del Rio rolls out of the ring. The ref starts counting, and Del Rio just walks away, and Punk just watches him go. And Dolph runs out and viciously attacks Del Rio. Del Rio runs away, which was hilarious. So Punk's left in the ring, and Brock Lesnar comes out. And Brock grabs a microphone, but luckily he doesn't say anything. He just hits the F5 on Punk, and that was the end of the show. So they really did a great job with Raw this week. Some awesome surprises, stuff I didn't see coming. Perfect example of why I tried to avoid spoilers, because it really helped the show not to know what was going to happen with Christian, Lesnar, Mark Henry. All of that stuff was really good. And I am really excited for Money in the Bank this year. They're probably going to do Punk, Brock, Cena, Mark Henry, Del Rio versus Dolph, and some Money in the Bank matches, and RVD's coming back, and hopefully he's here to really work and go all out. So this could be an awesome Money in the Bank pay-per-view this year. But anyways, that's my review of this week's Raw. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching.